Deserts are spreading in our world, and there are several reasons for this. Climate change, deforestation, and incorrect agricultural practices are some of the reasons why the world is drying up. This is also called desertification, which means when fertile land turns into a desert. China is also facing a lot of trouble due to this. According to a study, 27% of China's land is currently affected by this issue, meaning China's land has become barren. As a result, 400 million people in China have been impacted. People's livestock are dying, farming has become difficult, and water sources are drying up. In many cities in China, sandstorms have now become a common occurrence, especially in the northwest region. Friends, China is trying every possible way to combat this issue. They are even conducting artificial rainfall and building green walls on their barren land, which means creating a wall of trees. Thousands of workers in China are working on this problem, and China has been somewhat successful in fixing this issue. From 2009 to 2019, the barren areas in China have decreased by 50,000 square kilometers. But how did China achieve this? How is China turning its barren lands into fertile ones? How did China use rabbits in this process? I will explain all of this to you. Friends, China has used many unique techniques for this. For example, in some areas of China, sand dunes would form. This is sand that gets carried by the wind and accumulates in one place. China used a technique called the straw checkerboard technique to address this. In this technique, straws are filled with rice or wheat and then arranged in a checkerboard pattern on the ground. Half of the straw is buried in the ground, and the other half is left above. This creates a barrier that affects the flow of wind, preventing the formation of sand dunes. The ground beneath the straw also hardens, and the sand doesn't move from there. Friends, there is a region in China called Inner Mongolia, which was also turning into a desert. But China worked hard here as well, and now this area is becoming fertile. Approximately 60 million acres of land have been reforested, and grass now covers 45% of this area. This is a huge success. But now you might be wondering, where do the rabbits come into all of this? How did China use millions of rabbits for this purpose? Friends, for this, we need to know about the Rex rabbit. This is a breed of rabbit that originates from France but is found in many countries around the world. These rabbits can reproduce very quickly, meaning their population can increase rapidly. They dig burrows in the ground, breed in those burrows, and while searching for food, they dig up the soil. This is very beneficial for the land because it allows for gas exchange between the soil and the atmosphere, which is essential for plant growth. Now, let's go to one of China's deserts, called the Kabuki Desert. China used these rabbits in this desert to make it fertile. But how? Friends, there is a plant called the willow plant, which was being planted in this desert because these plants help hold the soil in place. This plant can easily grow in the desert because it doesn't require much water. China has been planting willow plants in this desert since 1988. Later, China started releasing rabbits here, specifically Rex rabbits. When these rabbits ate the grass, they couldn't digest the seeds. So, when they excreted, the seeds would come out with their waste. These seeds then acted as fertilizers in the sand, which helped the desert become fertile, and crops started growing there. In the last 10 years, China has released more than 1 million Rex rabbits in this area. The local people even breed these rabbits. Friends, these rabbits have played a significant role in transforming this desert. Apart from this, China has also taken many other steps. It's not just because of these rabbits that this transformation happened. However, today, about 33% of the Kabuki Desert has turned green. Many villages have now settled around this area. People who had left this place have returned to their homes. Animals are also coming back. The Chinese government has even set up a solar farm in this desert, which is China's largest solar farm, producing 1,000 megawatts of electricity. The way China has transformed this desert is a huge achievement. Friends, even today, rabbit farming is done in the Kabuki Desert. Millions of rabbits are present here, which has become an entire industry in itself. You can imagine how many millions of people have been lifted out of poverty because of this.